guys, we are here at Universal Studios Florida today. It's about a week from today will be team member previews of Halloween Horror Nights, and we're just a little over a week from the start of Halloween Horror Nights 30 on September 3rd. And yeah, we're just gonna walk through all the scare zones, check out the food booths and all that, and what's been showing up in the park so far. First up, at the entrance to the park is the Halloween Horror Nights 30 Years, 30 Fears Scare Zone. The front entrance of the park is always pretty photo opportunity-esque, as it has been at least in the years past. You have these huge pictures of the icons here, as well as all these little platforms. It looks like some of the icons will probably be up there as well. There's all these candles everywhere and all these lighting fixtures. You have a bunch of movers, you have some spotlights, and of course that Halloween Horror Nights sign up top. And this will probably remain a photo opportunity like it normally is, at least how it has been in the last several years of the event. And all throughout the parks, we've been seeing different food tents, food booths showing up for Halloween Horror Nights, supposedly themed. There seems to be one for each house. So this one seems to be themed to candy and sweets, obviously. Probably revolving around the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy house, because the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy house, of course, goes well with candy, and it's also going to be right over here. The entrance will be right around here somewhere. And so it would only make sense for this to be what that is. And you can see a little bit of the menu, what will be offered here at this stand. Actually, as you walk just to the right of that sweet shop food stand, over here are actually several of them. There's some generic ones that just have rockwork on them. You see over here, and there's also another one over here as well. But then there's one over here, We Slaughter Barbecue, that is themed to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is going to be a maze that is actually a house that is actually right here. So it seems like these food stands that are themed around the houses will be nearby their actual house that they're based off of. So you have the We Slaughter Barbecue sign up there, Coca-Cola, and then we'll get a closer look at that menu. Looks like Coca-Cola barbecue, some Leatherface, cherry pie, and then along with, of course, alcohol and soda and water as well. In the typical tribute store location, they are currently in the process of making the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, which is set to actually open this Friday. Annual pass holders will get a preview of this store on Thursday. However, I'll be here Friday to check out the new store. This facade looks awesome. It looks like a little bit like it's based on Haunting of Hill House, which is one of the marquee houses of the year. But yeah, this will open Friday, and if it's anything like last year's store, it'll have different rooms themed to different properties and different houses represented in the event this year. Right across the way from this tribute store, you start to see the scare zone for Seek and Destroy, which is involving aliens come to Earth, of course. And you can see this. First thing you see here is this platform. It has some lighting on it, and it actually has an LED wall, square LED wall. I'm sure they'll be doing some sort of show up here. They have these barrels, which they often like to pound on to make a ton of noise. And part of the scare zone back here, you actually have this big Seek and Destroy truck. Someone can probably get up in the back of it right there. These tanks of blood are actually all around the scare zone itself. So I think there will probably be harvesting of blood theme from what I've heard. As you can see throughout the street, there's just some more props, some more platforms, some high up ones, some low ones. Oftentimes in this scare zone in this area, there's a lot going on usually. It's usually a lot of characters on platforms, some of course roaming as always, but there's always something happening here on this street. And I'm sure this year will be no exception. I feel like there will probably be more scare actors scaring from platforms this year than on the streets, but that's just a guess. And this is one of the Halloween Horror Nights food trucks. It has several options, both snacks and drinks, and it's actually open today, I guess now. a week or so in advance of the event. And this next scare zone is outside of the exit to Fast and Furious, right before you get to the London waterfront of Diagon Alley. It is Crypt TV. I don't really know much about the actual channel Crypt TV. It's a YouTube channel. It's apparently pretty popular, but I plan to check it out, watch some of the series before the event. But for those who are fans, you'll recognize several iconic scenes from several of their shows in this scare zone. And this over here is something that hasn't been announced for the event, but it's not really a scare zone, it's just a promo for the upcoming Good Guys show on Sci-Fi featuring Chucky, and there'll of course be a photo op, and we'll probably make fun of all the guests just like in past events. And then right next to that is a food booth for the Wicked Growth House. We know that because of all the pumpkin decorations. That's basically what Wicked Growth is. It's a bunch of pumpkins and Halloween type theming in that house. The food staple of Halloween Horror Nights is the Twisted Tater, and this year the theme of the booth is Beetlejuice, right outside Kids Zone, right next to the Haunting of Hill House food booth as well, because those two are the two houses in Kids Zone this year. And this is the Gorewood Forest Scare Zone. This one's always one that has a lot of fog in it and a lot of characters just popping out of all these what they call boo holes. This one looks to be really interesting and full of scares. And this one is one of my more anticipated scare zones, at least pre-event. So Lights, Camera, Action, Eddie's Revenge is revolving around Eddie, who is Jack's brother in the Halloween Horror Nights lore. He is basically making a horror film, a slasher film, and he's using some sets such as an Alien Invasion, Vamp 55, a Treats themed one, and some others, and that's basically the storyline. This one seems like definitely a photo op scare zone, but this is probably my most anticipated overall scare zone, other than 30 Years, 30 Fears. And this one should be pretty cool. You can see some projectors up, so they'll probably be environmentally projecting around the street to make the atmosphere really cool.